it's your girl Ahsante, helping you move consciously and creatively through life, so let's go. I went to Harvard College and I made a lot of mistakes. I make these videos about Harvard because there are so many things that I wish I had known going in. I can see the advantage of being a Harvard legacy. I wish that I had someone to guide me and help me avoid the pitfalls that I fell into head first. So to pass the Ahsante, these are the mistakes for you not to make. My first mistake was not buddying up with my peers in the freshman arts program and generally buddying up with people at the beginning of freshman year. The big lesson was that cliques form quick. By the end of the first month, everyone had their squad of best friends, and if you weren't in, you weren't in. I was at a point in my life where I took my time getting accustomed to an environment and figuring out where I wanted to go and what I wanted to do. And I was rooming with ladies who were on the quieter side, not party animals. I'm in the middle, I'm an ambivert. I enjoy going out to socialize with people, but I should have been out in these freshman streets. Like, I should have been hitting these hallways. Now I know that in new situations, even though I might not be completely comfortable, I need to immediately start talking to people, being super friendly, and building good relationships, because group dynamics form so fast and you will get left out. And at Harvard, there were a lot of clubs that you couldn't really get into unless you knew someone, as I mentioned in a previous video. And being in clubs really determined your social life and what activities you could do for fun. I didn't strategically navigate those social structures because I didn't know you needed a strategy. But now I do. You basically need a strategy in every group situation. There will be politics, you have to be ready for it, and you have to know how to position yourself socially. I feel fortunate that I had a solid group of roommates in my freshman year and in subsequent years, because those were the folks I wound up leaning on. My second mistake was majoring in computer science for as long as I did. I love learning about tech, I love problem solving, I love building algorithms. I do not love debugging code. I learned that sometimes it's okay to let the thing that's fighting you win. Just take the L and move on. I made the mistake of trying to learn something new at Harvard College, whereas I found with the technical majors, the intro classes worked better for people who already knew the content. And if you didn't already know it, then hopefully you can teach yourself over the weekend. Like, why was JavaScript on the final CS50 exam when none of the lectures covered JavaScript? Ugh, just like out of the blue. I had one of my engineering professors who taught an intro class with no textbook, first red flag, say that if I had a question about a problem set, that I should Google it. As if I hadn't tried that already. As if the Wikipedia pages for engineering physics concepts make any sense to the layperson. So I dropped out of engineering pretty quickly, but I held on to computer science for far too long. And I thought computer science was cooler, but I could have done applied math just as well. Very specific tip for anyone currently at Harvard College: applied math and computer science cover a lot of the same ground, and I found the math department to be way more supportive. I was trying to follow the path that I thought I should follow, and I missed out on getting to take more film classes, which is the major that I wound up switching to anyway. I got into this one advanced animation class that I wound up not taking because it conflicted with a required computer science class, and then I wound up dropping that class and the degree. This is the one class choice decision that I really do remember because I love animation. Like, I would go back today and take that class. The resistance that I was feeling within computer science was trying to tell me that I needed to change directions, and I'm glad I listened in the end. I wish I had listened sooner. So if there's something calling out to your heart, but it's not the path you're on, or it's not the path you think you're supposed to take, find a way to make a change. Along those lines, my third mistake is that I did not drop classes soon enough. Quit. It was that never give up, don't quit mentality that I had from childhood. Look, if a situation is no longer serving you, you better get up on out of there, okay? I could have saved myself several GPA points if I had dropped classes sooner. No shame. Not that my GPA has mattered that much since, which is another nice thing to realize in retrospect. Grades seem like everything when you're in school, but they're really not. But still, don't be afraid to quit that which is no longer serving you. My fourth mistake was not branching outside of my typical social patterns as far as what groups I tried to be a part of. Again, go with what feels right, go where the love is, not just where you think you should be. I come from a very strong HBCU household. HU? You know. I love being surrounded by Black people whenever possible, and I thought I was gonna go to Howard University. You know, in high school, that's what I wanted. So I sought out Black community on Harvard's campus, but I didn't find the Black community as a whole to be very welcoming. I've connected with great Black alumni groups since then, but on campus, I felt a lot of rejection and cliquishness. Similarly, in high school, I was a part of a lot of arts organizations, theater, choirs. That's where I thought I belonged. Got to Harvard and got a lot of rejection and cliquishness. My preconceived notions of where I thought I would fit turned out not to be the move. And instead of trying to wedge myself into places that didn't appreciate me, I should have listened to that resistance sooner and moved on. I could have spent more of my time in places that actually did feel right. What worked for you in a previous situation might not work for you now, and you might not fit the social role that would typically be expected of you, or that you might even be expecting of yourself. In the end, I found the warmest community on campus in Harvard College Faith in Action. And originally, I didn't think to look to a faith community because that's not what I'd looked to before, but that's where the love was, and you gotta go where the love is. I'm glad for the mistakes that I made in college because I made them early and I could learn early. Harvard was the first time that I faced a lot of rejection and competition and felt the limits of my capacity. No, I cannot endlessly pile things on my list of obligations. I will collapse. No, I can't just focus on doing a good job. I have to also focus on having good relationships. These are things that high school didn't teach me, but college definitely did, and they've been useful in the workforce and beyond. So you live and you learn. If you're new here, I make videos about personal development and social awareness, so if you're into that, then consider subscribing. If you're curious, you can check out my other videos about the culture at Harvard and my experience while I was there. And thank you so much to my Patreon patrons who have joined me on this journey to make my channel sustainable. As always, remember to live spiritedly and think creatively, and I will see you next time.